Alright, so we've gotten everything off and it's time to put everything back on now. We're going to go ahead by taking your new rotor, my old rotor, and we're going to stick it back here on the wheel hub assembly, like so, and everything pretty much goes back on the same way it came off, but I'll just show you everything just to make sure that you guys are confident in what you are doing. We're going to start by starting these caliper bracket bolts. Alright, got the bottom one started. And so yeah, more on that thing I was talking about there earlier. I said that I agree. I think it's a good idea to do only English for the driver's license test because, like another thing they said, all our signs are in English, and if the potential driver doesn't know English, then that could be a dangerous thing to be driving around. And I mean, obviously they'll probably know what stop means. It's a big red sign. It's kind of a universal thing to say there. Stop moving, don't go anymore. And I also believe that America was found on immigration. Oh, there we go. You want to tighten it real good there too. And I believe America was found on immigration, so it's, I don't know, a lot of people feel strongly that the immigrants should all be shipped back and they're taking all our jobs. But you can let me know, vent about that down in the comments below. I'll talk about that more in a second, but now we're going to put our new pads in here, and I'll show you that here. Alright, and the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to install this new hardware, which came with my new brake pads, which is pretty cool. A lot of times they don't give you the metal clips that come with it, so I'm just going to pull these guys out and install the new ones just because I got them. And I just pull out like that, and then I'll set the new one the way the old one came out. Stick it in there. Stick it in and press down, and you'll hear it click in there. And both sides clicked in, so I'll do the same with the top. And careful, there's some really sharp edges here, so make sure you don't hurt yourself. I'll probably be bleeding here in just a second just because I said that. And just clip both of them in there. Then we'll take our new pads, and I got some expensive Napa pads, and they actually say inner and outer on the pad. So I don't know if the cheaper pads will have the inner and outer because it's the exact same pad, but something about the new technology of these pads, the inner has less dust or something. I don't know, but if it does have an inner and outer, make sure you take note of that. I doubt it will. But inner is going to be inside towards the car, outer is going to be closer to the wheel. So I'm just going to take my inner and set them in there like so. And I'll also put some brake grease on there. That's a cool thing about having expensive pads. It comes with the brake grease. I'm gonna rip it, just tear it open there, and got my brake grease. And the outer, there's an outer. I'm gonna stick some right there, just along the edge of the pad, and like that. It's good practice. Good thing to do there. And I'll do that on the other pad too, but you don't need to see me do it because I just showed you how to do it there. And then I'm going to grab my caliper, and we need to compress the caliper, the caliper piston all the way back in. What I'll do is I'll take an old pad and I'll take my C-clamp and I'll tighten it in, and we'll make this piston go flush with the housing there. Alright, and what we're doing here is we're just taking one of our old pads, we're going to set it right up here, and we're going to take our C-clamp, set it right in there like so, and then I will compress the C-clamp slow and steady. There we go. And if you filled your brake reservoir with brake fluid in between your brake change, you may be dripping out some brake fluid right now as we speak, but I don't think this car has filled brake fluid quite just yet, so we're looking for something like that. It's just going to be flush, that piston. Now our caliper will slide right on, but we're not ready to do that because we first need to remove these pins. And let's see, there we go. Make sure not to damage that rubber piece, but we're going to wipe these clean and then apply some new brake grease. Okay guys, so like I said, we're gonna take your slide pin here and we're gonna take a rag and wipe it off just like that, get it nice and clean. And then I'm just gonna kind of hold it back, and then I'll take some of this disc brake quiet lube, I think that's what they call it. And I'm just gonna apply generously. Like that'll do right there. You don't really need to apply it too generously actually, but just like you're seeing me do there, that's fine. And then we'll just stick them back in there, and then we'll work our seal back in there as well. And I'm trying not to get in the way of the camera. Alright, and I just push it down there a little bit, and I'll twist a little bit more, and there we go. That's sealed off. That's good. And now we can see it's sliding very well. It's nice and lubed up, and here's the old one. It's sliding pretty well too. So, but it's just good practice to always put your new lubricants in there just to make sure the stuff hasn't run out, because it can over time slip out from the top or something like that. So I'll take my other one. I'll try pulling out that way. That was a lot easier. You guys do it that way. Don't do it the way I did it, because you're gonna have trouble putting it in there. And there we go. Make sure there's no hair on there. I think I just saw a piece of dog hair go on there. There it is. Just gonna pull him off, and then we'll slip it right back in there. Like so, yeah, that went much smoother. So once you've got your pins lubed up, I went ahead and applied some more grease on those ends right there. Now we'll just make sure we push those guys in there, or the caliper is gonna not want to go back on there. And just like that. Now we'll take our caliper bolts and just get those guys worked in there. Get them started. And so more on the topic I was talking about earlier, my opinion, if I had to sum up or give a summary of my opinion for the whole immigration thing, is I think this country was found on immigration. We immigrated here from Great Britain, and we really imposed on the Native Americans, but at the same time, I'm very conservative. I'm not liberal at all, if that's what you're thinking. But at the same time, although I think this country is found on immigration, I believe that immigrants should learn our language. It's a polite thing to do, really. I think it's the good thing to do. And I do think they should be here legally, just because it's law, I guess. And you don't want to over tighten these caliper bolts. Just like that. It's good. So, that's pretty much it, guys. You've got it done there. Before you go ahead and take off with your new brakes in, what you're going to want to do is just depress your brake pedal all the way down. So that will compress the piston to really grab onto those pads. And if you don't do that, what will happen is when you first go to stop, you're going to hit whatever in front of you or behind you, because your brake pedal is just going to go straight to the floor, and there's not going to be any pressure behind that piston back there. And that's pretty much it. One more thing I wanted to add was, when I was showing you how to compress that piston in earlier with the C-clamp, if you don't have a C-clamp, what you can do is, like you saw me do in the beginning of the video, you can take a screwdriver in and kind of pry it. You can take one of your old pads and stick it in there and just keep on prying it. Use that prying method to compress the piston all the way back. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch all my new videos, which publish Mondays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will see you then. Alright guys, and here's what it's going to sound like when it's running on just 2 cylinders. Okay guys, so this is the test drive for the 2-cylinder Civic. And it's riding a little rough.